Hi guys, it's Ryan Fowler here with Kai. Kai, I wanted to have him on the show. He's very gracious and agreed to do that. Not too long ago, I did a session with Kai, and Kai's struggles are very typical of what a lot of guys go through. And we did one session. Now, Kai, you're in Singapore, and go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Yes, my name's Kai from Singapore. Originally from New Zealand, but I moved to Singapore when COVID hit. So I'm very fortunate. I work remotely. I recently had my first daughter. So
Congrats.
part of why I did reach out to you was, one of the things I want to do is I want to be a good dad, and part of that is not having my trauma pass onto my kid, onto my daughter. So part of like getting involved in doing the hypnotherapy, something I was honestly initially pretty skeptical of. But yeah, I'm really glad that I went ahead and did that. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you were struggling with and why, the struggles that led you to say, hey, I got to fix this? Maybe other methodologies you've used to try and fix what you're struggling with. Tell us about your struggles and how you tried to fix it before.
Well, I've been through, in terms of, I've been doing self-improvement for like over 10 years now. So I've pretty much tried it all, meditating, the daily routines, all of that. So I've kind of been floating in and out of it. So I haven't been, so sometimes I'm like super consistent with it and then I'll kind of fall off.
Sure.
I think, like kind of why I reached out to you was like, I felt like there was like kind of a dark cloud over me. And it was, I had a lot of this negative kind of self-talk. And no matter what I would kind of do I'll do my affirmations. It just didn't quite, it would work for a while, but it would still be there. So it made a lot of sense to me that there was probably something subconscious that I didn't confront properly. I guess some of the pain that I've had, I think I've just minimized it or blocked it out, but I never fully addressed it. Yeah.
What do you think this dark cloud was? What do you think that was about?
I guess for me, it was a lot of it was I'm just not good enough. Yeah, I felt a lot of imposter syndrome. I felt like at times I was self-sabotaging myself. So there were, and there would be certain things that happened to me early in life that I would kind of go back to and think that, and then it would just pull me back into that memory or that moment. So So I wanted to just kind of address it and like kind of put it to rest. Yeah.
When we did the session for you, what did you notice as far as how things were different afterwards?
So I just felt this weight just lift off of me. Yeah. The session, it was a good 5 hours. I was shocked.
Because we're thorough, man. We take our time.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But it didn't feel like that though at all when I was doing it. It felt like 30 minutes.
Wow, it felt like 30 minutes?
Yeah. So
well, there was a talk portion. We talked for a good 3 hours, and then the session is like 2. Yeah, but keep going.
Yeah. So like one of the things that kind of weighed on me for a long time was, so I grew up in New Zealand, and we were like the only Asian family where we were living.
Yeah.
So I dealt with like racism, dealt with bullying from my brother. So those were things that I kind of held on to for quite a while. I just kind of like, as an adult, I didn't deal with not as much racism at all. Obviously, I got
but in your childhood you did, and that's still in there. Is that right?
Yeah. And then like the stuff around my brother, or like, it just would never happen anymore now. Obviously, we're both grown adults. but I still carried that with me. And then now when I do think about those moments of when he did something that I didn't necessarily agree with, I don't hold that same level of resentment. I just feel empty about it now. It's indifferent
Dude,
to me.
so cool.
Yeah. Before I was like yeah, and it would kind of weigh on me and bother me, and I would kind of relive that specific moment. Yeah, and yeah, I think like anytime I would share stories about stuff that he did, people would get really like, oh, whoa, like they could see the anger kind of seep in when I
They
would
can see
talk about
anger
it,
in
like,
you kind of coming out as you're talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
How much of that did we get out of you? Did we get 100% out, 50, 40, 80?
Yeah, I when I think about him now, I'm just totally indifferent about it.
Yes.
Just
And how many sessions?
yeah, just one,
One
Yeah.
session. You were skeptical at first. Anyone who's thinking about doing this, what would you tell them? Anyone considering they're struggling with these things, trapped anger, procrastination, feeling not good enough. What would you tell them if they're trying to fix that or overcome that, or they're thinking about doing hypnosis?
I would just say give it a try. Yeah, give it a try. Like if you've tried as much stuff as I've tried to try and figure it out, then it's totally worth it in that sense. And if you do get into that session, you just need to kind of surrender to the process. Really lean in. Don't be afraid to hold back. So yeah, the session was very intense for me. I felt my heart beat a little bit faster afterwards. I was like, whoa, like
Yeah. How different, I mean, how worth it to you is it to finally find the solution? Like how big of an impact does that is, all this other stuff you've done in the last 10 years, you finally found the solution. Was it worth it to you to go through all that effort, try all those different things?
yeah, like honestly, I wish I did it earlier. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's hard to kind of think about, but yeah, if there was, just all those hours wasted, the lack of productivity, yeah, I could have done a lot more.
So everyone out there, thank you for watching. Thank you, Kai. And you guys all have more power than you know.